Hi, everyone. Welcome to J Podcast from Change Media, your go to founder hub for insightful stories and unconventional wisdom. I'm your host, Janine Hage, and this is the first of our series, the Unconventional Playbook for Founders, UP for short. In this series, we'll dive into the raw, real life tales from my day to day adventures and misadventures running a company. Each episode will pull the curtain on those moments at the office, the wins, the setbacks, and the unexpected twists. And I will make them into practical lessons for founders like you. No fluff, no theory, just straight from the trenches advice to help you rewrite the rules of building a business. Buckle up because this is just the beginning of what J Podcast has in store. Let's get started. Our first story is about a Wednesday cake and why culture in a company matters. So let me take you back to a Monday morning when I landed in this European vibrant city, jet lagged but ready to tackle a massive project. A global investment company has brought me in to lead a multi-million-dollar sales automation initiative. Think sales team across continents, one centralized platform, and a deadline that didn't mess around. The stakes were high, the budget was tight, and I was thinking, this is what I do, let's make this happen. So I walk into their office. It's in the heart of the business district, glass walls, modern vibe and all, and big open room split by two rows of workstations, left side, right side. They were nice, they greeted me nicely, they showed me to a desk on the left side, and I settled in. It feels like any other office I've seen before. But something was off. There's this subtle weirdness in the air. Something is not quite clicking. So I brushed it off. First days, right? Then comes Wednesday. Wednesday morning, I came in with my coffee. And this is when I spotted. It was a lemon cake sitting on the supply cabinet. Looked fluffy and inviting, especially with my coffee. So I was tempted to take a slice, but then something stopped me. You know, new city, new rules, new office, I'm the new kid on the block, so I didn't touch it. Good call. Because that hesitation saved me from stepping into what I would later learn was practically an international incident. That afternoon, two women from the right side of the office, let's call them Sarah and Mia, invited me to go sightseeing after work. So we hit local bars, local places, and we ate at a nice restaurant. And then over drinks, Sarah leans in and says, "Don't tell anyone at work we did this. We're not supposed to mix." So I'm like, what? We're not supposed to mix? Tell what about? What's that about, Sarah? So she explains. She said, the office is split, left side, right side, and we don't cross lines. And that lemon cake, I saw you looking at it. But that lemon cake, this Wednesday, it's some sort of a Wednesday ritual that they bring cake to the office. However, every Wednesday, they bring a cake for one side of the office. And that Wednesday was the right side of the office cake. And I was sitting on the left side, so I wasn't supposed to touch it. Next Wednesday, my side will bring a cake, and this is when I can eat, but they cannot, the right side. It's kind of like a Wednesday cake ritual they have going on there. I was stunned. Like seriously, a cake turf war in a professional office? But it hits me, that weird vibe that I felt wasn't just first day jet lag. The office was divided, not just by desks, but by an unspoken cultural division, left versus right, like two rival teams sharing a space, but not a mission. So by Friday, I'm back in Montreal. I head to the top executive office and I laid it out plain. I told him, your global project is in trouble. How do I know? Your Wednesday cake. He looks at me like, oh, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I said, so I broke it down for him. I said, if your team can't share a slice of cake in one office, How are they going to sync up across continents on a multi-million-dollar platform? That cake wasn't just dessert. It was a bleeding red flag of a culture too broken to support their ambitious project. So then you realize that the cake is not for everyone, and it's like an icing on the cake in this case, or a line in the sand that says, stay in your lane. The lesson here is simple, is that simple dessert told a deeper story. A workplace so fractured that a global project with all its cash and tech was doomed before it started. If they couldn't share a slice of cake, how could they share vision, ideas, customer information, and whatnot? This is what I call the Wednesday cake test. It's a test for your company's culture. And what's a culture? The culture is this invisible force that binds teams, that brings them together, that shapes how people connect, that drives or derails, in this case, your biggest goals. A misaligned culture isn't just a vibe issue. It's a structural flaw that can tank even the best laid plans. So this project didn't really succeed. It failed like fail-ish, but not because of budgets or tech. It failed because the culture couldn't hold it together. So let's unpack 4 ways a broken culture, like the one in that office, could sabotage your work, and why founders need to pay attention. Silos. Silos kill collaboration. That left side, right side divide wasn't just about cake. It was a full-blown silo mentality. Teams were walled off without walls, without physical walls, but they were hoarding resources, ideas, and yes, desserts. For a project that big and that needed seamless collaboration across continent, this was a non-starter. Silos create an us and them mentality mindset where teams protect their turf instead of working toward a shared goal. And the result is duplicated effort, clashing priorities, zero trust, and missed deadlines. You can't build something big when everyone is playing for their own side. The second one is actually communication. So remember Sarah's warning not to mention our escapade? Well, that secrecy showed how communication is actually jammed. The no mixing rule means we're not talking openly. It means a culture of whispers and assumptions. And for complex projects, assumptions, this is deadly. One team might misinterpret specs, another might hold back critical updates. It can create errors, rework, missed deadlines. When communication breaks down, your vision gets lost in translation and people disengage. And this is the third barrier. When people disengage, morale takes a hit. A culture that draws hard lines, like who gets cake, for instance, tells employees they're not one team. In that office, the cake rule made people feel isolated, like their side was all they had. Low morale means employees check out mentally, they do the minimum instead of bringing their best to the office. For a high-stake project, you need people who feel connected, who feel valued and willing and ready to go all in. A divided culture kills that spark. The last one I would like to share with you is change. What happened to change? Change gets stuck completely. That Wednesday cake ritual was a stubborn tradition, unquestioned, untouchable. It screamed resistance to change. When teams cling to old traditions, old norms, old rules, they push back against new processes, like, for instance, a unified platform, because it threatens their comfort zone. A culture that can't evolve jams creativity, innovation, agility, adaptability, leaving you and your company vulnerable and exposed in fast-moving market like the high-tech. If your people won't budge on cake, good luck getting them to adopt a new system. The Wednesday cake wasn't just a quirky story. It was a wake-up call. Culture isn't a soft, fluffy thing. It's the foundation that holds up or sinks your biggest best. Get it right and your projects soar. Get it wrong and they will collapse, no matter how much money or tech you throw at them. So how do you pass the Wednesday cake test? How do you build a culture that doesn't just share, but drives collaboration and success? That's the million-dollar question, and the answer is one you're going to find in J Academy. Want the full playbook on how to put these in action? Head over to J Academy, where we got lessons, frameworks, and practical solutions to tackle these day-to-day challenges. Head to changegroup.com to get your VIP ticket for J Academy. That's a wrap on today's Unconventional Playbook for Founders from J Podcast. If this story resonated, subscribe to Change Media for more tales and lessons from the startup trenches. Share it with a fellow founder, drop a review, and let us know your thoughts. Tag Change Media on socials. Next episode, we'll dive into another moment from my journey with another practical lesson. Until then, keep building, keep learning, and stay awesome. See you next time.